Hey everyone, it's Lisa. I am doing my minimal journal traveling kit video take 2. Some feedback came back. People said that they couldn't really see everything in detail, really close up and sharp. So I am going to try to clarify that and rectify that situation by reshooting this video. You're going to have to forgive me because I'm hand holding my camera to make sure that you don't have that sound. I noticed that sound in my retake when I did that last one again. So I'm going to try to hopefully clarify, but I'm going to do a brief overview of these items. Let me turn that one over so you can see it. These items again, so you can kind of see what I took with me when I did my trip to Europe last year. I was gone for 14 years. Ooh, I wish I could have been. I was gone for 14 days traveling in Portugal, Spain, and Switzerland. And some of these are the items that I took with me on my journey for me to document and journal the trip. So I'm going to shoot this a little bit different than I did the first one. I'm going to pretty much show you what I ended up. I took almost all these things in some shape, form, or fashion, but I didn't use a lot of them, and I'll tell you what I did use and what I didn't use. So, normally in my everyday carry, I use this Coolpix pencil case. Nice and slim, but I noticed when I use fountain pens, which I've switched over to using fountain pens quite a bit or as much as possible, you get ink leakage from the pens. So that made me want to actually switch my pencil case up for my day-to-day carry, and I stopped using this, so I'll probably use this kit for more art supplies, and I'm trying to learn how to draw, so I might put some drawing pencils and stuff like that on this. But that was my everyday carry bag. That's not what I took with me. Oh, I did take that with me to carry some pens, but this was the main kit that I took with me to Europe. It's a Moving Options pencil case. I got this from JetPens probably the year before I even went. So I went on my trip last year, so that was 2014 I probably got it. Very spacious. Has these 2 compartments, plus you're going to have to forgive me, I'm going to jiggle this a little bit because I'm hand holding. It's a little crooked, but I got to use my hand here. Plus it has this inside option, which actually stores a lot of stuff. And I would say if you're traveling internationally, you probably don't want to take anything bigger than this. This is probably about as big as you're going to want to take up real estate in either your carry-on or in your carry-on luggage. I'm a 1 suitcase trip taker. I like to carry my luggage on the plane and roll it off, and I always have it with me no matter what happens. I don't have to worry about my luggage transferring, so I don't tend to pack really heavy, and I wanted something very lightweight. This would fit in either my suitcase or my carry-on bag, so this was a really good thing. Some of the pens that I used, I went with Staedtler. I did the Triple Plus fine liner in 0.3 millimeter. Out of that set of all those pens, I took the red, the yellow, and the green because I got Spain, Portugal, and Switzerland's flag colors pretty much out of, out of all 3, utilizing all 3 of these pens. So those are the pens that I used. They're very fine point pen tips. 0.38 is pretty thin. I'm not going to see if I can get this to focus in too much, but they're thin. Trust me. And I like it that way because my overall kit that I was using was very small. Oops, so sorry. Sorry about that, folks. Knocked my own camera over. The journal kit that I use is a field note size journal from Retro Torres. If you're in the world of journaling, this is a very popular and probably getting to be well known woman who does these. She crafts these by hand herself. I got mine last August or September before the trip. I absolutely really like her her journal kits. She'll give you one field note size journal in it. That's the size that I was using on this trip. And it's big enough to put some photos in it. Sorry, those are my Oakley clips acting up. I tend to shoot more photography than I do probably doodling, but these are a really good size. Plus, when you are out and about and you really want to minimize what you're carrying, these always can come out of this nice journal cover, and you can just carry that with you. And I have I have my personal information here, so I don't want to show that too much, but I have a Midori pin clip on the side that's perfect for like a mini fountain pen, like a TWSBI Mini will fit in that really quite nicely and just kind of tuck into that. So I carried this with me. I had a Midori, regular size Midori filled traveler kit. I didn't end up taking that one with me because even that I thought was going to be initially too bulky. And I got this nice little journal charm off. Actually, I bought this one. God darn it, I'm so sorry. I bought this one in Portugal. Sorry, I'm like utilizing a new setup here, so hopefully, I so apologize for that. It's much better than before. But I got this nice little clip from a street vendor in Sintra in Portugal. So that's what I took. Other items that I took with me, the fountain pens that I was talking about, I had the Neosim. This is the Neosim. This is the Pilot Metropolitan. Both of these pens are fairly inexpensive fountain pens. I didn't want to take really expensive fountain pens because if I lost them, I didn't want to be kind of crying about the cost of the fountain pen. This clear style is called a Demonstrator. This one writes really, really smoothly. I was really impressed with that one. And the Pilot's got a heavier weight to it, and it also writes smooth, but not as smoothly, I think, as the Neosim still for me, because I've got it in a fine point nib. It's probably finer than most fountain pens in that kind of category. I used tape on the end of mine so I could kind of tell what color ink I had in it, and right now I've got some kind of green ink in it that's really, really pretty from Pilot that I really, really love. In addition, I carried refills for the Pilot and the Neosim. The Pilot takes the long ones, the Neosim takes the international short cartridge size. One thing I will say about fountain pens, if you do take them on a trip, it's kind of good to keep your fountain pens vertical. That helps prevent the leakage kind of going into the cap, but you're always going to get some kind of leakage with a fountain pen. Paper clips. I got these paper clips. Let me see if I can show them to you. They're Poppin paper clips. I got these at the Container Store. I only took a few of them with me on the trip, and they're great because they fitted into the Midori. I put the Midori zipper size folder in the back of my Retro Torres Field Notes journal. So, in order hopefully not to let this fall again, I'll try to show that to you really quick. So, I got in the Retro Torres, I got another passport size clear cover zipper case that I also had like extra bands in there too, and I have postage stamps and again those paper clips. I put that in the back of my journal book, so I had those with me that were handy just in case I wanted to, if I had a memento that I picked up or a postcard or anything like that from the trip, I could actually, there you go, you can see that a little bit better in the light. You can put those into the back of the journal kit. So those were some of the things that I did with the little knickknacks. I also had washi tape that I put in the back, and I've got the original one that I used from the trip. So on that one, I just took, and this was again a recommendation from actually watching other YouTube videos, where you just take some washi tape on a old loyalty card and you just wrap it around it so that you don't have to worry about taking rolls of washi tape. I just got them taking something like this to New Orleans for this year. Really handy to have to like help decorate your journals on the fly. Another tip that I got watching YouTube, which was really handy, was wrapping your acrylic stamps. And I used this one a lot. This was my favorite one on the trip. As you can see, it's nice and chunky and it has lines in it. Hopefully you can see those lines. I really like this one. I use this one probably more than any other stamp that I have in my entire collection of the 3 or 4 that I do own. I don't own that many. I use the Marion Smith, pull this back out. I use the Marion Smith clear stamps, her planner clear stamps. I took these with me on the trip. I did use them, but not a lot. I found that by the time I got done walking miles and miles a day, I was pretty worn out. And I also got the smaller, thinner acrylic stamp with no lines from Marion Smith as well from her site. She's got her own website, so you can just order from her directly. But I also did wrap. After I got back, I saw the tip on doing that just to help locate your clear block stamps, because they sometimes can get lost in all your other items. I took some Oops clear tape with me. I got this from Staples or something like that, Office Depot, but it's just, you know, whiteout. If you don't want to use whiteout like that, you can use, I used the Slingo. I'll do it this way so you can see it. I'm a big fan of the Slingo pins from Uniball. I have that not only in white, which is great for, like I said, clearing corrections, but I had it in green, and I have it in blue. And these pins are great. I absolutely, really like these pins. So those were some of the pins I also used on the regular. I also had with me on the trip, try to get this up here a little bit more. Sorry, get to see my plants. I had a Sharpie that I used, Sharpie pen. That's always a great pen to have. And then I also have this Fisher Space pen. I'm undocking it right now because I'm just using one hand. So it kind of docks up to a full size. This is a great pen. It writes upside down, backwards. If you were to write vertically, like literally on a wall like this, you can like write, and it writes in any kind of condition, even when it's wet outside. This pen will write. So shooting photography, sometimes using a notebook and writing notes in a notebook, and when it's raining or misting outside, this will still be able to write no matter what the weather condition is. So it's a great little pen to have. The VersaCraft stamp ink is what I also brought with me. Could have left it at home. It was great. I thought I was killing 12 different birds with one stone, so that I could actually stamp, you know, multiple colors. I really probably only needed to take 2 smaller kind of dewdroppy type colored stamps. That would have probably been better. But I did take this with me just in case, and I did use it, sorry, I did use it somewhat, but I just didn't really use it like a ton. The tweezers and the scissors, great. I actually did use them. The tweezers were for that Marion Smith planner kit, the stamps, because some of them are pretty tiny, and to pick them up, like that little one right there, I don't know if I can get that next to the cloud and the big black mark here, to pick that up, it's like even my hands, which are fairly small, these were much easier to use to actually do that, so I would actually recommend that. These scissors, I'm going to bring this back up so I can actually get my hands free on this, because the scissors were great. Sorry about the shakiness of the camera. These scissors were great. They basically, I took them everywhere. I never got stopped in customs. I never had anybody go, what are these? Nothing. They were great. I think that people thought they were like miniature little glasses or something. So these were great to have. I got those again, I think, from either Amazon or JetPens. I also have with me a magnifying glass that I've had for years actually, but I took it with me, and I think this one even lights up. I think it lights up. So it was great to have on the fly that if I needed to, let me see what this, I don't think you can see it now. Oh yeah, there you go. So it actually lights up. It was a great little thing to have, however, didn't really use it, but I figured, you know, if I was looking at anything at night while we were traveling on a train or anything, I might need it. The Boxy eraser, I just started using it more when I got back than when I did. Post-it flags, I could have probably popped off 2 of each color and taken them with me because I really didn't use these anyhow when I was on the trip. The Scotch adhesive, oh yeah, I used that. That was great. That was good for like nailing down. Mostly, I would say Metro maps. I think I grabbed a Metro map from every European city that I was in. Barcelona, Lisbon, Portugal. They just, all of those places, I was grabbing Metro maps. So that was great. Pencil sharpener. I had one pencil with me. I don't even think I used it, but it was also good. This was actually multitaskable because you can use it for makeup if you're a girl. So that was good. Link, lead from Pentel. This is nothing really to focus in on, but it's just spare ink, lead inks, I should say, leads for pencils. I used this. It was great. I didn't have really any need for it because I didn't have a pencil, like I said. And then the standard office binder clip. Handy to have. I think I used that a few times, but not too much. So that was pretty much it on the minimalist travel kit that I used for when I went to Europe. I really do apologize for the shakiness or me knocking over my camera. I did that like a few times. I apologize for that. But hopefully you get to see like all the items clearly on what I took on the trip. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, give me thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever your feedback may be. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Stay safe. Bye.